Today we'll be learning about properties of multiplication, estimating products, multiplying 2-digit by 2-digit numbers, and multiplying 2-digit by 3-digit. And we'll be starting off with properties of multiplication, and the 4 properties we'll be learning, or the 5 properties we'll be learning is commutative, distributive, 0, commutative, identity, and associative. So distributive is basically saying like if it's like 5 times 4 plus 2, then basically you could distribute the 5 and multiply it to each one. So it's going to be 20 plus 10, which equals 30. 0 is basically you multiply anything to 0. Like pretend you multiply 5 to 0, you get 0. So anything multiplied by 0 is 0. Commutative is basically saying 2 times 3 is the same thing as 3 times 2. So basically they're the same thing. It doesn't matter how you switch the order. Identity is anything multiplied like 5 times 1 is going to still equal 5. So it doesn't matter. Anything that you multiply to the power to 1 is going to equal 5. And associative is basically you can pretend if they're all multiplication like 9 times 5 times 7, you can put the parentheses around 5 or 7 or 5 or 9. It does not matter where you put the parentheses. So let's look at number 1. 7 times 1 equals 7. Anything to the multiplied by 1 is itself. So it's going to be identity for number 1. Number 2 is saying 9 times 7 minus 9 times 2 equals 9 times 7 minus 2. So it's basically saying you're basically distributing the 9. So it's going to be 9 times 7 times or minus 9 times 2. So it's going to be distributive since you're moving the 9 to both sides. And then now number 3 is the parentheses are right here and then right here. They're on different numbers, but they still equal the same thing. So this is associative. Number 4 is 0 property since anything multiplied to 0 is itself. And number 5 is commutative since you can switch the order of these two, but it will not matter. And now we'll move on to estimating products. So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to solve the question, but we're going to round to the nearest 10th for number 1 to 5 and nearest 100 for number 5 to 10. So if you do this, then it's going to be 8 times 9. So it's going to be 72. You move that here. 9 times 6 is 54. Plus 7 is going to be 61. And you add a 0 as a placeholder. 7 times 8 is 56. 7 times 6 is 42. 42 plus 5 is going to be 47. So you get 2, 7, 3, 5. So you get 5,372. But this is to round to the nearest 10, so it's going to be 5,370. And just in case you didn't know how to do that, you look at the 1 place value before the 10. And then if that's greater than 5, then you round up. If it's less than 5, then you round down. And in this case, 2 is less than 5, so you round down to 5,370. Let's just do one more problem for 1 to 5. 17 times 72. It's going to be 2 times 7. That's 14. So that's 14. 7 times 7 is 49. Plus 1 is 50. Placeholder 0. 2 times 1 is 2. 7 times 1 is 7. And you get 4 to 13. You round. You look at the 4 is less than 5. So you just round down to 13. 1,320. Now we'll be looking at numbers 6 through 10. And these ones you round to the hundreds place. So we'll just do one example for this. Times 103. You just have to multiply the same thing, but just with 3 numbers. So 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 2 is 6. Plus 2 is 8. 3 times 3 is 9. And the placeholder 0, 0. And then this just can be zeros, right? Because 0 times 8, 0 times 2, 0 times 3 is all zeros. And then this time you add 2 placeholders. And then multiply by 8 times 1 is 8. 2 times 1 is 2, and 1 times 3 is 3. So you add these up and you get 4, 8, 7, 3, 3. So for number, what number was this? Oh yeah, for number 6, you get 3,784, or no, 33,784. And you round to the hundreds place, so which is this number right here, and you look behind it. The 8 is greater than 5, so it becomes 33,800. So you round up. Now we'll be looking at multiplying 2-digit by 2-digit numbers, and this is what we already did, but we'll just go over it one more time. Let's look at number 2. We look at number 2, and how we do this is we just multiply up, and then we multiply crossways. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 2 times 7 is 14. Then once you go on to the second number, since you're done multiplying the first number, then you put a 0 there for a placeholder. Okay, so you just put that 0, and then you do 5 times 2 is 10, so you put another 0, put a 1 up here. 5 times 7 is 35. 35 plus 1 is 36. And then you just add everything, and you get 4, 4, 7, 3. So for number 2, it will be 3,744. And we'll just do one more. 29 times 64, which is number 6. 9 times 4 is 36. You put a 3 there. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. And then you cross it out, and since you're on the next number, you put a 0 down. 6 times 9 is 54. Put a 5 here. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 plus 5 is 17. You add it up, it becomes 6, 5, 3, 1. So you get 1,356. And now moving on to the last subject, which is multiplying 2-digit by 3-digit numbers. We'll just do one problem. We'll look at number 1, 250 times 81. It's going to equal 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. And then you put a placeholder, and then you do 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 5 is 40, so you put 1 here. And then 8 times 2 is 16. 16 plus 4 is 20. And then you get 20250. So number 1 is going to be 20,250. And thank